a 3-step method for a successful detox. In this section, we will go over a simple 3-step method to help you perform a successful dopamine detox. Step 1. Identify your biggest distraction. The first step to implementing an effective dopamine detox is to identify your biggest temptation and distraction. To do so, take a pen and a sheet of paper or use your action guide and create two columns, cans and can'ts. In the first column, write down all the activities you will allow yourself to engage in. For instance, it might be going for a walk, journaling, working on a project, or reading books. In the second column, write down all the things you must avoid doing during your dopamine detox. For instance, it might be watching YouTube, checking your emails, or using social media. To help you do this, ask yourself the following questions. If I stop doing only one thing, which one would increase my focus and boost my productivity the most dramatically? What other activity do I need to avoid in order to help me increase my focus most significantly? Keep asking yourself this question until you are happy with your answers. Once you have completed your list, put it on your desk or somewhere you will see it. It will act as a good reminder of activities you must avoid. Step 2. Add friction. Generally speaking, the harder something is to access, the less likely you are to do it, and vice versa. This is why you must redesign your environment to make undesirable behavior more difficult to engage in while making more desirable behaviors easier to conduct. Look at the habits or activities you want to eliminate and ask yourself how could how you could add friction. The more friction, the better. For instance, if you if your phone is your biggest distraction, remove all the notification or put it on airplane mode. Or even better, switch it off and put it in a separate room. If Facebook is your biggest distraction, remove as many notifications as you can or use applications such as Newsfeed Eradicator, a Google Chrome extension. If you spend hours watching YouTube videos, instead install DF YouTube on your Google Chrome Navigator or find a similar app for your internet browser. This will remove all the suggestion and notification. Then only watch videos that serve a specific purpose. Adding friction might sound overly simple, but it works. This is because, as humans, we are fundamentally lazy. We hate wasting energy unless we are forced to. If you need to go to another room to grab your phone, friction 1, and also need to turn it on, friction 2, you are less likely to do it for a while. After I put my internet modem in my storage room to get it back, I needed to leave my apartment, friction 1, take the elevator to descend 4 floors, friction 2, open 4 doors, friction 3, 4, 5, and 6 to reach my modem and repeat the action in reverse, friction 7 to 12. This is a great deal of friction since I spent energy to take my modem to the storage room in the first place. My mind resisted getting it back right away. This would be a great waste of energy, which my mind doesn't like. Bottom line is the more difficult you make it to engage in unwanted behaviors, the better. Conversely, make your desired behaviors as frictionless as possible. For instance, to facilitate writing in the morning, I avoid checking my phone or my emails and leave my word processor open. Then, I often put on relaxing music and use timer. I like to do 45-minute work session. By doing so, I remove friction and obtain a buy-in from my mind. It wouldn't make sense if I suddenly stopped the music, paused the timer, and moved on to another activity. My mind would see it as a wastage of energy. Of course, I may still procrastinate, but removing friction and creating a simple routine reduces the chances of me doing so. Your turn now. How could you add friction to eliminate Unwanted behaviors. Look at your list of cons. Next to each of them, write down specific things you could do to act friction. Then, look at your list of cans and write down things you could do to eliminate friction. Remember, your mind is lazy. Use this to your advantage. Step 3. Start first thing in the morning. The third and final step is simply to get started. I recommend you to start first thing in the morning before becoming overly stimulated. I've noticed that if I check my phone or access the internet upon waking up, I probably become distracted. I also recommend you to create a morning routine to help you start your day on a positive note and with a strong focus. Over the long term, a simple morning routine can make a massive difference in your life. What about you? What's the first thing you do when you wake up? Does this help you to remain calm and focused? Or does it lead you to feel overstimulated and result in procrastination? To establish your morning routine, write down 2 or 3 simple things you could do each morning. You will use these activities to kickstart your dopamine detox, and hopefully, you will stick to the routine over the long term. Remember that the routine should deepen your focus rather than stimulate you. For instance, you could meditate, stretch, listen to some relaxing music, write down your goals for the day, write down 3 things you are grateful for, or repeat positive affirmation. Check the action step. Tips to make the most of your dopamine detox. Below are the few tips that will help you to maximize the benefits you'll obtain from your dopamine detox. Take notes. During your dopamine detox, I encourage you to take notes. If you feel restless, write it down. If you experience an urge to check your phone or to watch videos, write this down too. That way, you will be able to identify your biggest sources of stimulation and learn more about the way your brain works. Reflect on your life. When we are constantly busy and overstimulated, we often sometimes fail to take a step back. We can't see the forest for the trees. Use your dopamine detox as a way to zoom out. To do so, reflect on your goals. What goals are you pursuing? Are the are they the right ones for you? Are you making progress towards them each day? And if you keep doing what you are doing, will you reach them? Access how you are using your time. Are you being truly productive each day? Do you spend your time on the things that matter? Which activities or project do you really need to focus on? Which one do you want to stop doing? Self reflect. Are you where you want to be in life? What inner work could you do to improve yourself? Solve your problems. If you have any problems or worries, write them down alongside potential solutions. Just putting your thoughts on the paper can help you declutter your mind and gain clarity. This is because it is difficult to address thoughts that stay in your mind. You tend to ruminate on them. On the other hand, writing them down makes them more concrete. It helps clarify your thinking. By giving words to your thoughts or worries, you can address them more easily. I encourage you to take a pen and a sheet of paper and answer the questions above. In the absence of highly stimulating activities, you will be calmer and more relaxed, and this, in turn, will allow you to develop greater insight. More generally speaking, dedicating time to thinking each week can make a major difference in your life. It can prevent you making big mistakes and save you a great deal of time and energy. Therefore, refuse to let busyness be an excuse to avoid reflecting on your life. Identify your fears. Finally, our never ending search for stimulation is often an attempt to hide our fears. Being busy enables us to avoid having to face unpleasant feelings and scary truths about ourselves. Thus, if you notice certain disempowering thoughts or underlying fears, Write them down too.